Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy Friday morning. We are here this morning and we are talking with Krista. I dropped that link, Krista, and it doesn't look like she got it yet. So give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to turn my camera and mic off and make sure that I can get Krista in the room live. So just 1 second. Hey Krista, are you in the chat? If not, I'm about to go to my StreamYard and try to see if I can do it from here. I sent the link. When I go to invite guests, Krista, it just only lets me send you the link to come in. She's gonna try to go back in, guys, and see. Let me see if I did something wrong. Participate in the StreamYard. Share screens. Let's see here. Krista, it just says you want to make sure you open the link in the supported browser of your device. Allow StreamYard to access your camera and mic and make sure you have the correct camera. Recognize and screen participants. Let me see, Krista, if we can get you in now.
There I am. There you go.
Yay! Yes, I can. Sorry, that was my bad, guys. So thankful for Krista's patience this morning.
No,
this is
okay.
my first live ever. So
we didn't know that when we were talking about that.
Yeah, girl. I've just been on here talking to all my subscribers.
I know.
So
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try not to do that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Girl, no, we're excited to have you here this morning. I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself. I know that you were part of Adam's family and you live in the surrounding area, so you have a lot of great contacts and information, and you've been doing this for like a long time, right, Krista?
Not this exactly, not YouTube, the podcast thing, but I was blogging for a long time, like when that was with basically talking to yourself, like because people had to know you to come to look for you, and that's you know what I mean, and you had to be liked for people to want to look for you, right? Well,
right.
People from New Jersey, when we feel like when we're typing, it sounds like what it sounds like in our head, but and as nice as it can come out, it doesn't come out that way. And
Exactly.
so I've changed. This is a different name. This is not who I started out. This was half of my first brand name. Then I was something else, and then I was this because the algorithm had picked. So 2 years ago, everybody started a podcast, right? So I was like, yeah, I'll start a podcast then. Everybody went from blogging to that. But I'm like, but I got issues because, people are like, nobody wants to actually, they were calling me angry, problematic, and all that. So I was really, really, really like discouraged, right? So I started to talk to, hey, Shay, started to talk to Zach, Peter, because he's somebody, I can tell you right now, from day one, 2 years ago on Thanksgiving, when Erica signed for divorce, I was like, yo, I was listening to him and he responds. He has never not responded from day one. He's really, really good with that in there. I mean, other people I know it's hard. It's hard when your subscribers, and you want to be nice and all. But I was really I had boundary issues, like really bad, because I would get really, really butthurt when people would kick me off of their Facebook podcast group. Not going to name any names, but people know who it is. But like somebody that's very respected in the podcasting world, put it that way, And it's and it just really hurt me for a while. So I was just like, so one day Zach's like, you know what, you should go to YouTube. He's like, people need to see you. Like, look, he's like, go see my friend Adam. So when I saw Adam, it was like over a year. I don't know, God, over a year ago. Yeah, over a year and a half ago. And the first thing I saw was him and Jason's anniversary video. You have to see it, but obviously, I don't know if you guys know the rest of the story, but like, spent the last year doing, hot, messy topics on his panels and stuff, and building me up just so people could know who I was. Like, because I feel like if you know me, then you understand. I'm not angry. I don't sugarcoat shit. I just can't do it. I don't know how. It's just not. And I feel like I'm logical, I think. I don't know. Maybe not, because I'm like always in the minority with this, but.
No, it's okay. That's why I thought it would be great to bring you on, because we could have a great conversation. Team Gorga, Team Teresa Giudice. That's what we're going to break down today, guys. Krista, like she said, she's been doing this since we used to blog behind a computer screen and Facebook and MySpace. Like,
you could easily change it. Algorithm didn't matter. You could easily change your email. Nobody cared. Nobody knew.
Right, exactly. So she's like us. She's a historian. She knows a lot about New Jersey. So we thought it was a great time with Teresa going on Carlos King's podcast to talk Gorgas and the Giudices. But tell everyone where they can find you first, Krista.
Okay, so my RealiTea with Krista right now is everything. Like, it's like all my social media stuff. But unfortunately, I never switched my brand name, my private to my brand. So most of it is all this stuff. But my channel is RealiTea with Krista Marie. And there's a segment on there called Whose Side Are You On? Which is the podcast that I still have to put the episodes on. But it's launched. I just have to, it says coming soon. So
I love that.
If you guys look for that. But see, that was the original plan to begin with. But again, who's going to go see somebody who they perceive as problematic and angry? Who knew, right? Who knew? And I give Adam a lot of credit because he too has supported me from day one. He knew. He's put up with a lot of my I can't stand it. They hate me. Everybody hates me. Everybody hates me. I can't stand it.
No.
He not supported me, but. I love him. But I try to act as a product of the channel, because I don't ever want to be monetized, because I feel like I've already been shut down enough. That why should I have to keep? I know what I mean. Stop censoring me, people. Leave me alone. No.
Listen, it's okay. It's okay to be passionate and just be respectful.
Be prepared for your backlash.
That's how the internet is sometimes. People are mean in comments. You're not the only one. TV stars
I've had my whole life. I've had it my whole life, but for some reason, this is what I'm so passionate. I guess because I'm so passionate about this world, and I want everybody to like me, because I'm obsessed with certain podcasters. I'll say, you know what I mean? That I will, hopefully one day won't think I'm crazy and he'll come on and talk to my show, but whatever. And I feel like with me that because I'm always Team Teresa as well. Only because I understand her. I try to explain her perception so people don't think she's just an asshole. I can explain their perception. I don't agree with it. I mean, right. I don't have to agree, because that's my perception sometimes too. I don't always think before I speak. I scream, I yell. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm self-aware. I come back and I'm like, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Teresa will never, ever apologize for anything in her life. That's a problem. But anyway, we'll get on to that later. We'll get on that
Right.
later.
What do you think though, like before we get started, like what is
Okay.
people's, like you talked about how like people don't really understand New Jersey, and so sometimes they have a hard time understanding the Real Housewives of New Jersey because it's kind of a
That's
different
good.
world. Like what do you think that
It
you could
is.
tell people to help them
Okay.
understand and have a better perception of New Jersey and the housewives in that area?
We are just very extremely incestuously close, but we're also extremely loyal to a fault sometimes. Like if you look at Dolores, she's been hurt by Teresa. I know she's been hurt by Teresa, but you'll never see her disrespect her family, Teresa's family, her name, nothing. That's Dolores. That is true Jersey people. That's how I am. You know, I've had my back kicked in a lot, but like I also have done a lot of effed up shit too in my life. I'm an open book. I'm not, you know what I mean? I don't hide anything. But like that's probably a problem, you know, and we don't sugarcoat stuff because I don't know how. It's counterproductive for me. Why am I going to tell you what you want to hear? And listen, I will be like I will defend you. Like, but that's the thing. I don't agree with Teresa not defending her family, but that's another thing. But we're just really loyal, and like if you really get to know us, like, honestly, I know. Watch the Jerseylicious, watch all the shows that say Jersey this, Jersey that. That's what it is. We're perceived as like we're not mafia. It's not even a thing anymore here. Joe Gorga is not a made man. He's never said he was. Like there's none of that here anymore. It's not here. It's not like that. We're just really loyal, but we also have we have tempers. It just all matters who wants to come back and be accountable for their actions and like be honest, you know?
Right.
I'm always honest. Talk about me if you want, but like, you know.
Have you always felt like you've I don't know, like seen Melissa's point of view more so than Teresa's, or has that changed for you over the years watching the show?
I've never had a problem with Melissa and Joe at all, ever. You know, I've had problems with Teresa's the way she. I see. Perception is your reality. So I hate to tell people that your reality's wrong. Like that's not what's really. I mean, like, because I know how it feels, but like, it's hard for me to keep defending her now. I mean, I can, but I just feel that it's. What did you just ask me? I forget.
I was like saying, were you always kind of more Team Gorga?
Yeah.
Kind of lean, but more with Melissa.
Honestly, if you go back, like if you like my whose side you want stuff, like it really does matter to like who's right and who's wrong. You know what I mean? Like I'm not I'll fiercely defend somebody, but like honestly, but it gets to the point where I think Teresa's starting to really be wrong and really going to be hurt in the end. I'm going to stop doing that because I'm not going to keep telling her, oh, that's good. Like keep doing that. You know, there's diehard stands, which is great and all, but you have to be honest. Like, I'm cool. Like, you can be anything you want. You can be a drug addict, you want to be a murderer. I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. They married me monetized because of me. I'm sorry.
You're doing great. That's only one time.
Like, honestly, what was I saying? Yeah, you can. You know, you can be monetized. What was I saying?
We were talking about Joe Gorga and Melissa. No, that's okay. I just wanted to know, like, have you ever seen like Melissa's store, like that she had there? And I know she moved it.
Listen, Joe and Melissa they're extremely successful before the show, during the show, they'll be after the show. That's not going to go anywhere. If they were not, I would not. Believe me, this is not a small place to live. People it doesn't take 10 years to figure that stuff out around here with the way Bravo fans are. Same thing with the rumor. When there's a rumor around here, it's not going to take 2 years to come out. It's not to find the truth. It just doesn't. You know, it just doesn't. Evan would have been divorced. Jackie would have been a whole thing. That person has a family. You can't say things like that. You just can't. You can. Yeah, you can, but you better have some real shit to back it up because you know, you want somebody to have you know what I mean? You don't want I felt horrible. And am I always team Jackie? No, but I have my reasons for that too. I feel like Jersey represents, like the house husbands and the husbands and wives, they represent a typical Jersey person, like all of them, really. You know, and then like Jackie and Evan aren't my complete cup of tea, but like either is Jenny and only I'm not about throwing people under the bus, but then again, I get it. That's the show. I see it from production too, but then you can't go on afterwards and claim victim and throw a glass at somebody, but then you're throwing glasses at somebody when production's there. You're throwing a glass at Melissa, and you're throwing food at Melissa, and you're that. You know, I'm talking about Aiden now. You know, you have to. You know, like I was going to say, like if you're consistent, I'm cool. But when you're not, like do what you want. Just be consistent about it. You want to be an asshole? Be a consistent asshole. you know, and I you know what I mean? I'll respect your vessel a little bit better. Like, but when you're on there going back and forth and you switch it up all the time, it's one, if it's one thing, you know, it's for production value. But like, then after that, when you have people that you know that are going to do something to your brother and put something out about your brother, shut that shit down, dude. She should be ashamed of herself, honestly. But whatever.
What do you think about the 3 new ladies coming on? Do you know anything that you could give us on them that you're allowed?
Nothing bad yet.
Yeah, nothing bad.
I already said, I told them, I said, just tell me now, I'll lie for you. I said, but if I do a deep dive, please, because I was going to do like an introduction, because I love them. They're really nice girls. They're nice. They're sweet. They, you know, they'll, you know, they watch. They all watch. I mean, I'm pretty sure they all watch our stuff. You know what I mean? And but like, I had nothing bad. I mean, everybody has skeletons. They do, but everybody also has a perception, or everybody also has, you know, there's a lot of things around here that, like, you know, Kim D knows mostly everything. She's right about everything, but she should be saying everything. No.
Right.
I have a hard time with that, but then I'm like, I understand, because, you know, she didn't try to be a podcaster. It just happened. You know what I mean? Right. Unfortunately, people love Kim D. Not unfortunate. I'm saying people will go to Kim, and unfortunately for her, the 1% when she's wrong is only because people are lying to her. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Good friends with her will lie to her to just get a narrative on the show. You know what I mean? To keep a narrative down that's not true. Like, can we prove it's not true? Absolutely not. Were we in the room with these people? No. But I mean, it's, you know, knowing the type of people they are, knowing who they are. Listen, and also another thing with Joe and Melissa. I know a lot of, say I don't know them personally, right? But I know a lot of people that do, and have extreme respect for them. Never had, you know what I mean? And I have respect for them, and I trust their judgment, just like I trust Laura's judgment about Frank. She forgave him 27 years ago. You know what I mean? Why should we do that against him?
Right, we shouldn't. I always root for Frank. I've said that before.
It makes me crazy when people call him a scumbag. Like, yo, he's a cheater, and he did this. Look, everybody can look at his paper. Anybody will look at me. Anybody can. I look horrible on paper. Don't Google me, guys. Seriously. Honestly, like,
don't give them any ideas, Krista.
I know. Somebody said that. I said that before. They're like, stop. I was like, stop talking about government names. Stop saying where you're at. I'm like, why? And he goes, trust me. But I'm like, I said, but this wasn't a plan. So I was already, you know what I mean? I didn't think about that.
Yeah, for sure.
But you also have to protect your family too, you know?
Yes, for sure. And that's one thing.
I get why you mean. In New York, I'm like, hey, I don't know her name. I'm like, hey. Shit. I was like, I can't say guys now.
Carlos King said that too, though. If you, he was on their podcast, or they were on his podcast, because Teresa's doing the podcast with Melissa F. And he was talking about how Teresa always just like goes to the store. She goes to the mall. She just shops, and she doesn't realize she's effing famous. She has no security.
None of them do. None of them do.
Yeah.
None of them.
Crazy.
We don't care about fame. They don't care about fame. Honestly, Melissa made. I wanted to be a singer. It's not like she was trying to grow up and be a singer. It was just it's a dream, right? But like Joe took it as, oh my God, we have to get on this show. Listen, I agree. Maybe, Carlos King admitted, yes, Teresa did not know. But she should be goddamn ashamed of herself for not wanting her brother on the show and give them the experience that she has. That is a home video for the rest of your life with your family. Honestly, this show.
Yeah.
I mean, what does she do? Honestly, if you can get into it, we can get into it. But like,
no, we can. That's what we're here to talk about. I always said that I feel like Joe and Teresa were duped, because really this is production's fault. Dude. Production advised Kathy and Melissa, don't tell anyone. Not that I think that they're right in their actions, but just saying, like, production was setting this all up from
they do a lot.
Time. Yeah, absolutely. And all of the dilemma, because people forget that Caroline and Dina and that whole like mess, like they got into it, and then Dina left mid-season, and that was partly because allegedly Dina was having issues with her daughter's dad, and Danielle was making contact with him, and then allegedly Caroline took that to producers as a storyline to bring more drama, and that's what made Dina just leave mid-season
and stop talking to Caroline, right?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. I, for a long time, didn't know the real root reason. I suspected it was something to do with Tommy, but it was just something that happened after. You know what I mean? The thing that happened afterwards. So that is why I thought that they really fell out, that thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
But I also, I'm Caroline. I'm a fan. I love them both, right? But to me, I don't see a world where Caroline would do that to her sister unless she felt pressured. Again, call them mafiosos, whatever you want to do, because they used to be like, you know what I mean. Whatever. That doesn't mean they still are, but it doesn't mean they can't act as you know what I mean. They act as if, you know. There's people that walk around and act like that, but you know, he still hasn't been sentenced. What's that tell you?
Right. I know.
I just don't see a universe that Caroline does that and doesn't. And then I don't know.
It's possible she could have been pressured because we know that Al and Tommy are brothers. You know what I mean? Like
like she's always about right, wrong. But like, I mean, she protects her family, you know. But so I feel like, yeah, I don't think it was something that she necessarily felt she had a choice. Maybe I that's what I wouldn't believe anyway.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Because
isn't it wild that they like all worked at, was it Macy's or it wasn't Kaufman's? I know Kaufman's was before Macy's, but like Teresa and Jacqueline and Dina all worked together. That's how they met. Can you imagine them being like makeup artists and hair people working in the mall?
Yeah, the mall is the place though. We had the hair to here. We had half like we used to have feathered hair like this. It was like high head and all hair. They were the makeup girls. Like they were the cool girls though. Like they're the cool girls. We're not, you know what I mean? Like we're just like the ones that fell. We fell through the cracks though.
Right.
We did. It was like our group kind of fell through the cracks a little bit, but you know, tried to make it a little bit. Didn't work. But
I just can't imagine Teresa. She was like a buyer or something. They said like Ramona was that too. Does that sound right? No.
Yeah, it is. But a buyer. Did she say that?
I think she did. Like in one episode, she said that that's where they had all met, and like Jacqueline had her cosmetology license, and like Dina was at the makeup, and she was like a whatever. I don't even really know what that is. But Ramona from Real Housewives of New York City, smart. She said she was a buyer too. So
she's really smart though. I can see that. She lives there. She's smart. She's in that, you know, I mean, if buyers pushing it, but I mean, there's nothing like they worked there. But like, listen, they were the cool girls, no matter what, though. You know what I mean? Like, you know, but like, she should be ashamed of herself. I don't know why she would listen. Like, you didn't protect your brother for 10 years. Protect him from what? Because you basically have let him hang out to dry this entire time. You know, the fight with him and Juicy Joe. Don't you think that was years and years of bullshit and build up of them putting up with Giudice? Of course, Joe Gorga's going to be upset if he thinks his dad and Joe Giudice are going behind his back or whatever. It was, you know, that's your dad, dude. I get it. Like, Juicy just used that as like, and like I'd been a fan of his, but I also didn't really have much to say about him either. But like now, because of what he says now, this dude who literally got his wife in jail, put his wife in prison last year of her mother's life. Then comes out and treats her like shit. So, you know, she's finally happy and he tries to throw wrench in that shit. Now we're all supposed to just believe what Juicy Joe says, right? Because he goes on an interview. Come on, man. You guys don't see what he's doing? That's I'm like, are you guys, whether I know them or not, are you watching the same show? Not you. I'm just saying, like, I watch some people. I'm like, are you not watching the same show I'm watching? Like, you don't have to know them to know this. Like, you know, like Teresa's got a lot of nerve. Like, you know, she's the actual criminal by paper, right? You know, whether she scooped into her or not. That's what I'm saying. Buyer, you have to be a little smart for that. But Teresa's, you know, anyway, she's not stupid, but I'm stupid too. I would be able to be a buyer. I'm honest about it. But I mean, like, but still, like how do you defend that you were mad that they got on the show? Anybody around here is gonna be like, what is wrong with you? Why wouldn't it experience? It's not about fame or money, it's an experience.
Right. I think that it was more,
why not? Yeah.
Melissa or Teresa said like she was like, you know, because they were like a small family, it was really just Kathy, Rosie, and Joey and her growing up. So when she first got on the show, she hung out with Kathy a lot, and Kathy did say that on the show too. And like she said, she was like confiding in Melissa and Kathy about everything that was going on the show with Danielle. And Carlos said that, you know, Melissa was messaging him like on Facebook, and Andy said that she was messaging him. And then, like, we get quotes from Melissa where she says, like, that Bravo reached out to them and, you know, completely not talking about any like correspondence that she had like reached out for.
They
So like,
may not. I mean, honestly, I don't know why they'd have to hide it from her. I don't know why production. I don't know. This production was trying to create this kind of bullshit to have this thing. But then Teresa, why does Teresa be excited, be happy for your family? If you weren't protecting your brother, you never have. You don't protect him from what's in Reddit. You don't protect him from Kim D. You're not protecting him now. And if she's saying what she thinks she's saying on the show, or if she thinks Teresa's revealing that on the show, and that's why she's not saying it, Teresa, what are you doing? Like, come on, I can't. That's not, no. And then Reddit's like the evil twin of like Twitter. I swear to God.
I know it is. It is.
It is. Yeah, I can't even get. They even don't. They don't even like me on there. They're even thinking I'm like, I'm not even like mean enough for that place.
Right. I know. I don't think anyone is. Nobody is.
Like, because I'm like, what is she talking? I'm not going to say what she's talking about, but I'm like, I knew, and then I was like, let me see how else she could have known that, and then I figured it out because it sounded exactly what I read, and I was like, but hey, I just hope that she doesn't. I hope that Teresa has anything to do. If it happens, it can't come out of Kim's mouth, and if Teresa has anything to do with it, again, what show are we watching, guys? How's everybody so team Teresa and Louis? Again, Louis has actual allegations, actual charges from people, but hey, so does a lot of people. You can charge people with anything you want. You can sue anybody you want. That's going to go in the paper and the blogs. It has to hold up in court. You have to, like Jen Shaw, you can't claim not guilty when the world knows you are. You know what I mean? So anybody can do anything you want. They can charge you whatever. So yeah, of course, Louis' exes, he probably had toxic relationships, right? Like, but I still, nobody sat there. I was upset with Margaret for talking about it, but it's part of the way it is. But the shit that, like, over the years that Teresa, she doesn't act like a sister. Joe and Melissa do. All I've ever seen from them is trying to make her happy. Everybody tries to make Teresa happy. We know that a miserable Teresa is a miserable show because Danielle Staub did make the first season. I agree. Because without that, what would we have without that first season? Think about it. Without the table flip. Honestly, I barely remembered first season except for the table flip.
I know.
And I felt so bad for that girl, Danielle, in the very beginning. But then, she's just, like Dina said, she wants to like skin me and wear me as last year's Versace. That's what she is. She's like a burn book bitch, like the other one. Burn book. She's got a burn book. But
I had a question. I just lost my train of thought. And I was trying to. It was an older. It was about something like that happened. What do you think of Melissa's like sisters and mom? Like, I see them on her Instagram.
Yeah, they're family. They're a family. They're an Italian family, right? Just like the Gorga, just like the Judice, or just like the Judice is.
Sure.
Melissa raises her kids like she was raised. Respect. You respect your aunts and uncles. You don't talk to them back like that. It doesn't matter who you think you are. You don't speak to your elders like that. And that's how Melissa was raised. That's why you don't ever see her fighting with her family. Do you ever see her fight with her family like this? She had to beg them to stop hurting them.
Well, I mean, if you put them on a reality show, though, you don't know what could happen potentially.
That is true. I mean? Yeah, touche. But I don't think Melissa and Joe have changed at all since they've been on the show. I don't think any of them have, except for Teresa, maybe. I actually think about it. If Teresa's parents didn't talk to their siblings for 30 or 40 years, right? The Wakilis, that's like Teresa's mom or whoever it was
the dad.
Yeah, they didn't talk for years, then they died, whatever.
Yes.
What do you think? So where do you think Teresa gets it from? Teresa has done that to every single person in her family. She's got no family left. And this was before her parents passed away. So what's like? I don't get it. I don't understand. You don't.
Do you feel like the Gorgas kind of used Kathy and Richie though? Like whenever they used them to film with, and like then you never like really heard of them?
No, because everybody films with everybody. Everybody films with everybody. It just depends on what gets put up with, what production wants to make something out of, or what you make something out of your filming. And because a lot of these people hang out on camera, they don't hang out after that. They don't. You know what I mean?
But they were family. Like I'm just.
Well, yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. So like that's what I'm saying. They didn't have to like pick and shoot. It was weird. I don't know why they're making it sound like, well, they have to use this one. This one has to use that one to get on filming. They were all being filmed. They were all being filmed together. They were all hanging out. Rosie's awesome. I miss them. I wish they would come back. I don't understand. I don't see them. I don't see them as bad people, and I don't see the Gorgas. I don't see them as against each other. I don't know why it's like that. I wish it would stop. But I feel like because there's, I don't know if there's something in Kathy that maybe she's I don't know, holds grudges like Teresa. Like Teresa's somebody she'll never apologize. You know what I mean? Teresa will never ever admit she's wrong. Ever. It takes you have to like literally drag it out of her, and then she still doesn't get it. But it's just not in her DNA, you know.
I think Louis is gonna work on that because he's a
He's
spiritual
not bad.
person.
He's not a bad guy. He's not a bad guy.
His dad is in recovery in AA, which
He's
they
spiritual.
spiritual people that like
yes,
empathy, compassion, and humility.
He's an empath. He's a complete empath with a narcissist, unfortunately.
Yeah. So maybe
no, I'm sorry, Teresa. Not a narcissist. She does have feelings. She does. But to me, like I'm for Kim Dean, and I love you, Kim, but like to say that Joey doesn't love his sister, to sit there and say that, as you know for a fact, that's true. Like, how could you say that? That's not true. You know what I mean? Like that shit like that, I don't like. And then Teresa should not let that stuff stay out there. But like, just like Melissa, I'm tired of defending ourselves. Like I'm tired of defending us. How come you guys don't say Krista is a mole? Look at her. That's what I say.
No, but we are kind of lovey, and we're just talking housewives today. We're just having coffee, talking Gorgas. No one has to get crazy. It's not. We're not. It's not that serious for us today.
Like I've been called way worse than that. Trust me.
Yeah.
Her head.
But I just was thinking, like, I feel like if Melissa, not to talk bad, but I feel like Joe and Teresa could have worked it out. I feel like Joe was kind of torn in two places because Melissa, I saw the episode. There was like a clip about when Melissa like tweeted something after the Chanel bags were like fake, and then she tweeted something like about Teresa, and then Joe didn't know about it, and Teresa confronts Melissa, and then Melissa goes home, and Joe's like clueless that Melissa tweeted this, and after the conversation, he's like, "Don't be on Twitter, tweeting this kind of shit. Like you're not, you're making it worse." And so sometimes I wonder what kind of moves she made behind the scenes. Was she a peacemaker? I don't.
Yes,
in my opinion, I don't know.
She doesn't like to see her husband hurt, just like he doesn't like to see his wife hurt. And when Teresa's hurting, Joe hurts. Like I don't know how people don't see that. He might joke. He's mad. Now listen, there's emotional boundaries that they didn't need crossed, and they were completely crossed. Okay, that's why they weren't at the wedding. Don't fault them for that. We'll have to get to that part, but like. You can't. I don't know if anybody can look at Joe Gorga and not think that he loves his sister, or that this doesn't kill him or bother him that this is going down. He's now just defending himself at this point. Yeah. So let's still talk about with Joe Giudice. That like, come on, Joe. Joe makes one, and Joe actually says, "I miss my." And Joe Gorga goes and says, "I actually miss my brother-in-law," or whatever he said. He hasn't really said much about Joe Giudice. I mean, he got over the stuff with the dad. So. For people to think that what he says is actually, there's on paper, like I said, could it look like he took the parents' house and purposely took their money, like he's some monstrous thief? He's not an undercover thief. He's not an undercover like weirdo. He's not selling people in the black market. Like he's not any of these things. He's not a thief. You're not going to find it. He's not other things. He's just a man. That's what he is. He's unfortunately puts his foot in his mouth a lot because he's a man. And I hate to just say that's the reason, but I wish he would stop talking sometimes. Like, but I mean, I see where it comes from because he's like, at this point, like, I can't win. So she's just never going to stop. Now she's basically said, she's saying that, now it's, I would make up with my brother, and I love my brother, Well, wait a minute. Wait. Which one is it, Teresa? Is he this monster that you don't want to defend? Like all these things that we're going to find out this season. Now it's going to be revealed this season that he's this big monster. What's out there that nobody's ever had? I mean, honestly, like I said, that's the worst thing I've ever heard, and it's horrible. And if she doesn't stop that, it's already out, and people just have to look. But the thing is, your sister and your family and that show and that production shouldn't entertain that either, because that's not a fact. It was never. You know what I mean? It's not a fact, okay? Right. So it shouldn't even be. It's just that's something that was on the internet that shouldn't be there.
Right. But my experience with viewers like that are like pro Teresa, like they say they feel like because they focused on Joe and Teresa going to prison for so many seasons, all of their dirty laundry being aired, things that Joe and Melissa did that were a little sketch, like the Chanel bags or, you know, whatever, like they feel like that didn't get any sort of press or really like take off because everything was being like under the umbrella of Teresa and Joe and this whole prison sentence, you know, production stops for Teresa while she's in prison. She comes home to 4 kids, family she hasn't seen in a year, a dying mom, and now she's got to make a show to make the money because she owes a hell of restitution. You know what I mean?
So she also had a brother that took care of her when she took care of her family when they couldn't.
Yes.
Her parents couldn't. So let's not forget that either.
No.
Financially and emotionally. That father moved in there because of that reason. When Nona died, well, he wasn't going to live by himself anymore. That's not why should he? When he's got 4 granddaughters that need him and a daughter that needed him.
Of course.
You know, he moved the house, like, you know. That's what I'm saying. They're rolling over in their grave right now. Like, honestly, they would not be. Yeah.
What do you know about the pool boy? Because I met him at Joe's comedy show. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah. What did they really date, or what was? Are they just friends? He's their Joe's friend.
You know, when you're younger and you're 18, whatever, it's not like you don't have a boyfriend. You kind of do, but no, not like a relationship. I think they probably like flirted. I don't think Teresa's been with many people but Joe and Louie. Honestly, Joe's Juicy and Louie. She's not. No.
He was like Team Joe Gorga. When I was talking to him at the comedy show, he was like Team Gorga, 100%. Like it was cute.
He's got. I mean, like he's also a businessman that has respect too. Like you have to look at, like, you know, you don't have to believe the crazy chick, right? Like just look at the surrounding people around them.
Krista.
If you respect them, no, I'm just saying that's what people always say. Oh, listen, she's just whatever, because of whoever. But no, like if you just like look at the people they surround themselves with. Look at how long he's been in business. He's got, you know, call him a slumlord. Why? Because he has HUD, because he gets HUD. That's the smart way to do it because he gets paid every month. But call him a slumlord because people don't take care of his apartment. Like that's what I'm saying. They're like, they say these things. Yeah, everybody looks bad on paper sometimes. You can. But like you look at, you know, like Tony, he's a respectable businessman in this area. Okay. You know, he loves that family. He's not he doesn't hate Teresa, but he's just like, he again does not everybody agrees with using product, you know, getting off like the stuff that's not coming on the show or whatever certain. I don't know.
Right. I know, girl. It's a whole mess. Like that's why.
A lot because it's like I you know, people can say anything they want about you, man. They can really put anything they want about you out there, and you just need somebody. But like Teresa, it seems like his sister should not be back in there. Should have. I don't know. I would have. If that does happen, I'd be. And why wouldn't she have left the show? I would have left the show. I would leave the show if that came out about if that came up and I knew about it and production didn't put a stop to it or something, because it's not a fact. You know what I mean? We can't say what it is, but like it's not a fact. Okay, it's an allegation. So she knows.
Well, I think again, she's probably like, I carried the show. You guys filmed me while I went to prison. You filmed the worst day of my life.
That's nothing. She signed a piece of paper against the government. She's all from the government. You know what I mean? That's so different than what he was accused of.
Right, you know, but I just mean like production, like for the season.
And like, I used to sell fake Uggs. You know what I mean? I did a white collar crime. I was in prison. Like, you know what I mean? But do I look like a bad person? I mean, you know, you'd have to look at my husband. You don't believe me, but you look at who my husband is or like his family and the people that I surround myself with. You know what I mean? And just respect their opinion at least, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't pull that against her at all. I just think that production used it as like a storyline for so many years that she's like, okay, guys, it's y'all's turn. Like, basically, when Lisa Rinna told Kathy, you gonna earn your check, Teresa looked at Melissa and Joe was like, y'all about to earn y'all checks this season.
Not with your own family, though. Like, no. They could have, no. She's also pushed her family. You know, like, she lost a year of her life with her family, right? So why are you going to get out and not talk to the other, and then Kathy, the Achilles or cancer? Because they didn't want to come see her in prison. That's why. No. Like, I don't, and I started to not understand, Joanna. Tony's the pool boy that put in Teresa's pool.
Yes.
Yeah. What's that you're saying?
We were talking about Teresa and like how she's, you know, everything's been about her and Joe going to prison for so many years.
Your brother, like, why? No, not their turn. I mean, she tried to do it. I don't know what that wasn't even her fault either. That stuff, I don't remember. But like, I don't know. But see, production knows Teresa. They know where to get her when she's drinking. They know to get her to sleep, whatever. She's very lipsy when she's drinking. She's loose lipped. But again, she's not an apologist. She doesn't apologize for her behavior. So that whole thing went left real quick for her, because she's not going to come and say, I was wrong for saying that rumor at his party. Like, you know, she was drunk on the way there. This is exactly what I'm telling you. This is, I don't care if people
can. Jackie and Evan's party. You're talking whenever the rumor.
For years, she would question why Jackie doesn't give blowjobs, right, to her husband, and he must cheat on her. He must cheat on her, you know, because she doesn't do this certain sexual act, and she just couldn't wrap her head around it. Like, and just some people don't. I got to question that too, but I don't think that he cheats. But like, he doesn't. But I'm just saying, like, so production, knowing that, I don't know what got in their heads that day, but she was drinking on the way to the party, or already drunk, and they're like, and she was like, I just can't believe. She's probably like, I can't believe he doesn't cheat on her. And production's like, well, maybe you should. Did you ever hear that? Maybe you should bring it up. And then she's like, okay. And like, and then she says it and doesn't realize, oh shit. But then her oh shit is like, I'm sorry. Her oh shit's just like, she doubles down on it, and everybody, and then I'm like screaming at people. I'm like, I'm like, guys, it's not a thing. It's not like, and then a year and a half later, it doesn't take a year. Listen, it doesn't take 2 years. It doesn't take 6 months. It doesn't take 3 weeks. If that happened, then we found out day one, or like season 1, and it would have been, listen, it would have been in the blogs. It would have been everywhere. If Evan and the person that she thought it was, that Aiden thought it was, has a husband, kids, like a whole family. Just because you go to the gym with somebody, just because you all go to the same gym and go to a Christmas party together and take pictures, does not mean you're, you know, like, it just, that's not it. You can't assume that and then say, hey, so-and-so, do you have a picture of this person? And the person that owns the gym says, of course I do. They're my Christmas party. I guess I'd have a picture of this person. And it just happened to be a picture, a Christmas party picture with, you know, people in it. And then, you know, Aiden's like, oh, the girl, that must be the girl that I've been having an affair with. But no, it's not even, it's like, and that was that she admits, and I'm glad that she cleared it up. But like, no, Jackie went through hell. Like, that was hard for her to deal with. I wish she would have thick skinned about it, because it wasn't like it just. But I agree. Yeah. See, I wasn't really sure what an analogy was. I know what an analogy is, but I understood Teresa at that moment, because all she hears is G.A. That's all she heard.
Of
she
course.
Didn't hear analogy. She's like screwing out. She's like, what? I don't even know what that is. I don't know. She didn't hear that. Dolores tried to explain that to everybody. That's not what she heard. She didn't hear it was an analogy. Like, that's not where her brain was. Her brain was, you just said my daughter did coke. You know what I mean? And that's all she ever hear, because that's just
her head.
Her brain.
I want to read this comment. Galaxy says, if Teresa was found guilty for mortgage fraud, how is Erica free? They mortgaged their house 12 times illegally.
No, he did. Erica didn't. Tom did, right?
Erica and Tom paid so much money out to politicians, judges, prosecutors, senators, governors. Like, the line is very, very deep. The whole
I want to know.
And they can't just go arresting people. They got to get the feds in there to do. I mean, if they even
they
end up arresting people.
How many things he was sucking, because this is my thing on that. If this dude got away with that for that long, I don't want to believe that many people were corrupt and that many people could be paid off. I think dicks have been sucked on the sizes, times, dates, whose it was, and why, and then need to go to prison too. And the people that let that guy who's shitting himself, pooping himself every day, go to work and drive a car. You know, he's at the bottom of a cliff for 8 hours, and nobody believes that she was trying to leave him there. Come on, man. Right. You think she was trying to leave him for dead? Get the hell out of here. She was trying to. Who doesn't take this dude to the hospital? He's 87 years old and he sat in the bottom of a cliff and his car flipped over down a cliff for 7 hours, apparently, all this stuff. Who doesn't take this dude to the hospital no matter what he says? At that point, she was afraid of him. When did she become afraid of him?
What's up with his daughter, though? Like, I know the son-in-law is allegedly corrupt and worked at the office with Tom, and now the CFO's been arrested and alleged of embezzling $10 million and giving $20,000 to an escort every month who tipped him off to leave the country, and they only arrested him because he came back in the country to visit his sister.
What was illegal? What did he do? So he did what? He paid off a prostitute? Is that what they're saying? He did illegal?
No, he embezzled $10 million.
He embezzled money. Ooh.
Yeah,
so I did hear that. But I saw this is where I start to say about Erica. Maybe I believe she
posted it. She posted it on her Instagram and said, "Wow, this is crazy."
She's tired because she wasn't the only one watching this dude shit himself. So there's a lot of other people responsible for him, not just her. That were around the way as much as. So why? Yes, Did you live off the lifestyle? In my world, when you receive stolen property, you must pay it back. Doesn't matter whether you knew or not. Whether you spend it, you didn't know or not, you have to pay back or you go to prison too. Whatever, that's this world. So her not knowing is irrelevant to me at this point. She never made us think of anything. She's never made us feel anything else towards her except for whatever. Like, she's just.
This is her Instagram. She posted the article and put, "This shit gets crazier and crazier." Wow.
Well, you know what? It's starting to prove her point. Why should I be the only one going down with him? Except the fact that she might have to pay his debts for him because she was married to him. The other, a lot of other people knew. I'm pretty sure at this point, if you're all these people are being paid off, I'm pretty sure the other people should be going down with him. I went the bar. I went the bar. The bar. Come on, that's a. Yeah,
I think that Erica could potentially be cooperating, and nobody knows that there's an investigation going on. That's what I think.
I have to believe that me and Zach's friendship has to rely on something he knows for factual facts that she is not as bad as I say she is. I just have to believe that.
That's okay.
It's been 2 years on Thanksgiving. 2 years on Thanksgiving. Are we any further along? Except we just have our opinion at this point. It's like, it's a moral thing whether you believe her or not. I mean, you don't even have to believe her. The way she acted afterwards is enough for me at this point. But she's never given us a reason to think she's an emotional person. She's never talked about family or her son in an emotional way, like holidays. You don't see her with them. You don't see her have emotion. She has money. She was in a contractual marriage. No intimacy, forego intimacy for the rest of your life for money. What? Like, do I believe she was out having affairs? No, she's not an emotion. So we're not going to get her to be like, oh, I'm not. But again, if you want to show, you're going to be. She doesn't have any other talent. So if you want us to, if you want to be on the show, you have to make us at least believe something in you. Like something. Give us something. Don't start screaming at 14-year-olds. Like, no. So at this point, all that crap to me is like all the other brothers. She are not relevant to me now because she's
the earrings. I mean, the earrings and the appeal. I feel like that speaks volumes. You don't have to
wearing
them.
Wearing them speaks volumes. Yes. I was like, holy shit, that's the one. And of course, I was like, are they the earrings? I was like, no way. No way. She's old.
Balls of steel. Like, she has to know that Tom had important people in his pocket for her to even wear those on a television show, because most people would be hiding, waiting to be arrested somewhere.
Well, like, if she wants money, like, I'm saying, if she cared so much about money, she would care if we liked her or not. She would give us something to hang our heads on and be like, okay, I can feel good about, like, I'm believing Erica Girardi. You know what I mean? Like, and same thing with Shah. I must admit, I will admit this on your channel, because I've literally been going after her for years, since day one. Like, how are you going to walk into it? I couldn't in any universe picture her walking into that courtroom and calling them all liars. Okay? And after everything. It's just, and I believe now, watching the show, she had those mock trials and realized I cannot, how hard it is. It's hard to sit in front of a detective when you don't even know if they know yet, and then to try to say you're not guilty. Believe me. I was like, yep, we did it. You know what I mean? I was like, yep, you know, like, I was like, accountability from day, you know what I mean? Because I knew you sit in front of the judges, a judge who told you not to do this and said, do not make a mockery of my court, and you did it anyway for a year and a half. Something, and I believe those mock trials are what changed her mind. Because at that point, she knew she had to have known before that. I just thought she was delusional. And I see now why I didn't like her in the beginning. I was like, God, this chick she's another no accountability, none, zero. Everything's everybody else's fault. So, which she's blaming, they're blaming the brown girl. Like, that's not how it is around here, sweetie. 98% conviction rate is not because they're racist or anything like that. They didn't pick you out of a hat to choose it.
The federal government has endless resources. Like, they can work day in, day out, and you can't compare to that. And that's why, like you said, there's a 98% conviction rate.
They're not going to waste their money on that. You know what I mean? They're not going to waste their money on her if there's not, And I think she knows that. I feel bad. Coach Shaw, you're going to think about him. I don't think he knew anything now.
Me either. But did you hear the latest rumor that came out? Because the episode showed that party with Jen at a house with like with those aliens, and she said she threw a 5-year-old's birthday party. Is that a clip okay, they said that allegedly Jen's living there, that it's like another woman's house. She's not living with Coach. She lives at that house with a woman who does have a preference for other women. They're not saying Jen and the woman are in a relationship. They're just saying Jen and Coach Shaw are not living together. And
right now? Wow. Well, listen, there was a reason he was going to file for divorce before the show started. You know what I mean?
Did we know that?
He was, yeah, he said he filed, she
Oh,
actually said it too, 6 months before anything had even came out.
I
And
missed
then,
that.
yeah, and I believe it was when they found out that when she was scamming these people. I thought it was when the aunt with no legs, she was part of that scam, right? So I hate to say it that way, but that's the one we know, the hospital one, right? So I think I think when he must have realized maybe she's not who imagine find out what who your wife is after 25 years, who she really is, which I don't know how he didn't know. He just wasn't around, maybe. I don't know. I can
Maybe.
see now what he fell in love with. I can. I see Jen Shah now. She's more humbled now something had to do it, but like who she was last season, I would like if I was at that was at my wife, I no, you know. I could see why he wasn't home. Now he
Yeah.
sees the way he fell in love with, and now she's gone for 15 years. You got to be pissed. I mean, he's got to be think about it. We have to believe for us to believe that he knew about this. We have to believe that two parents, the same parent that these people were that corrupt, that irresponsible with their family and their money, that like delusional to think you can get away with it. And he's a lawyer and he hasn't pursued his job. Do we have to really believe that two parents would do that to their kids? No.
Yeah, I don't. I don't
No.
think that he knew. And the government said when they were watching her when she was working, she had her own sales floor in Manhattan in a big like high rise,
He could
office
have
or whatever.
thought
And
she
she had,
was a billionaire.
yeah,
He
she had an
probably endorsed.
apartment in Manhattan. So she wasn't living with Shaw then either.
Yeah.
And that was way
I
before the show.
want to talk to the Uber driver. The Uber driver that picked her up after Heather's house and took her to that house. I want to talk to him. Where's he at? And because why is it Shaw? And Shaw probably saw that too. Again,
Yes.
like he's being a good husband. He's showing up for her, like just like Heather Gay gets a lot of shit for defending Jen Shaw, but that's a true friend. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. I agree with you.
She's under. She's a criminal or what? People make mistakes, but that's a hugie. It's a biggie, and I think she would have kept doing it. Do I have any like tiny little bit of respect for her? Yes, now I do because I thank God she came to her senses and didn't walk into an actual court like in front of Judge Stein and go, "I didn't do it. You're all liars. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. I'm the only one innocent now." The judge is gonna be like, "No, like, wait a minute, hon. You've been indicted. Like, what do you?" And then there was nothing. Trial. She got eaten alive. I guarantee.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, everyone turned on that. Every single person flipped on her.
They were caught. You
testify.
cannot beat the Southern District. You cannot beat them when they have a grand jury, and that you cannot beat them. They don't watch you for years and spend all that money and resources, and they don't know what they're talking about. I mean, I thought for a minute, I thought I was crazy. I said maybe she knows something we don't know. How in the world? I thought, because of the way she's just fiercely taking her mother's money, defending herself, defending her still, and I'm like,
I don't think she expected her. What's his name to flip on her? Her side. What was his name? I can't remember.
Stewart Chains. It's Stewart, but we call him Stewart Chains. That's his
superhero
name.
Yes, Stewart Chains. I don't think she ever thought he was going to flip on her, so it was going to be them two versus everyone else.
Because if he got convicted, he would get way more time. He was going to get convicted, and he knew he's not dumb. I felt bad for him because I can't figure out why he even went along with this. You have a whole ass family, dude. That you are a whole normal person. She's always been, again, apparently she hasn't always been striving for more. It just kind of happened. But again, she's been doing this for a long time. Some of the things she were doing weren't illegal in the very beginning, but then they became illegal. And then she got warned about it. And then she found loopholes. Mm-hmm. But you got to expect to get caught. You cannot do these things. Trust me and not think you're ever going to get caught. You get greedy, you get caught. You go on a TV show, you're really getting caught.
Yeah, I know.
We don't play, and the universe doesn't play. Like, they'll check your ass real quick.
Yeah, for sure. What about Frank though? Like, we talk about how we always love him, and he was disbarred a couple of seasons ago over it was some paperwork, I think. Yeah. But it was can you clarify real estate attorney or divorce attorney? There's somebody I go back and forth with in the comments because I said he was real estate.
A divorce attorney? Yeah.
Somebody kept saying
it. I don't even think it was real. I don't think it was real estate. I think it was isn't he maybe he was. Yeah, it had to do with real estate, but I think more of commercial, but and I don't think he, as far as I know, wasn't anything corrupt, but a lot of the laws do change, but I don't think it was something he could fight. I think it was something he just didn't want to keep doing. Maybe. I don't really know, but but I think he, like I said, people do some people do things, but Frank made a mistake.
Good people.
Yeah,
He
he
didn't file protocol. That's what it was. It was something about a trust, and he didn't file the proper
well,
protocol. But everything was like settled. There was like not like he took it. You know, it
yeah,
was nothing like that.
yeah,
It was
it's
just
not like
like
not a criminal or like, you know what I mean? Like just like Joe
no.
Gorga. And like again, it's on paper. If somebody gets in trouble for something, of course it looks bad, you know. But like
Right.
you got to look at Frank. Okay, he made that mistake 27 years ago. You know, it wasn't just something he did. He did stay with that person after Dolores for a while. So it's not like he just cheated with some random person. He ended up having a relationship with her for a while. Now he's like, "We there?"
Sorry
Okay.
about that. I'm so sorry.
You know, he made a mistake, but I mean, like, you know, Dolores spent a lot of time forgiving him and making sure, you know, like making sure he's still dead. He's always made up for that. You know what I mean? And I don't really see people dog him that much. I mean, do you hear people say? I mean, I don't really see people.
No, I don't typically see them say anything bad about Frank. Sometimes I think a lot of people like him, like they love the house husbands, like Joe
Yeah,
Gorga and Frank. They really love that dynamic, and I feel glad that Frank, New Jersey never used to give contracts to the men, and finally Frank, he said he thought he was going to phase out because Dolores was going to get with her dude. And now he's going to be on the show, and he has his own contract, and he's bringing Brittany along a little bit. So
she's good friends with Rachel.
yeah,
That I think Brittany, when she gets used to the cameras and gets maybe used to this a little bit more, would be a really good new addition with that group. That's her group. That's her age kind of like she's young. She's like way younger. Frank, I don't know if you guys know what Frank is, but Frank's a lot older than a lot of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's about time. You know what I mean? The first person he brought on to introduce all of us. You know what I mean, to you guys. Like, and I was like, and love looks good on Frank. It really does.
Good.
And Brittany's just so amazing and just so like sees him how like Dolores sees him. He's just a good guy. He's a teddy bear. You know what I mean? And me too. He's just a stand-up good guy. And if you have to believe he's friends with Joe Gorga, he's not a bad guy. You know what I mean? Joe Gorga's not a bad guy. You know, there's a lot of other house husbands that on paper have done things too. And you know, there's all these franchises or they're hypocrites. Some of them, there's like hypocrisy that goes on, like with Beverly Hills and all. Do I think we should have ever compared Jen Shah to Erica? No, never. That should have never even been a comparison. That was making nuts. Completely different crimes, different everything.
Yeah.
Cholera, but you know, it was only, but like, you know, Frank, you know, them things like, you know, there's stuff about Lily out there. People can allege it if you want. You can allege it, but there's people that have actually been convicted. Teresa and Joe, you know, Teresa should, I mean, I know it's hard for them to look at their dad in a bad way, you know, but their uncle's not a bad guy either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I agree.
How old you get, Gia? No, I would never. I still don't talk to my uncle like that. My mom's brother. I can't even fathom, like when Melissa says, Antonia would never even fathom, it doesn't even cross her inner universe to ever speak to Teresa that way, no matter how old she gets.
Well, I know, but I think that's because the Antonias had a very different upbringing than Gia and the girls. Gia's had to be a mom to those kids for a year when Teresa was gone, and then when Teresa came home, Joe left, and Antonia has, Joe and Melissa have been wonderful parents, but they've always been present. There hasn't been, that's a traumatic thing, daddy leaves, mommy leaves, like three sisters. So Gia's mind her mind and mentality is that she's like, probably feels like a 30-year-old woman inside, you know what I mean? Coming out of like a 22-year-old body.
To talk to him that way after he stepped in and was your dad basically for a long time. Knowing and Pop are gone and they're not happy that they died with their kids basically not like, you know.
Yeah, I know. Well, hopefully they can work it out. I swear, I hope all this stuff, with Joe and Melissa works out. But this rumor with Melissa, like cheating, the one of her like cheating allegedly.
Guys, listen. That dude also has a wife, right?
Yes.
If somebody walked in on them hooking up, do you really think that they would? Who supposedly saw this? Margaret, right? And then Margaret.
No, it was Margaret's assistant. Like, okay, I guess Melissa has an assistant.
Yeah.
And Nick is friends with Melissa's assistant, allegedly. So it was like them all four.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. say that okay, say it was a misunderstanding. They weren't hooking up, but it was a funny thing. This funny thing that happened. Oh my God, she thought this, she thought that, but like, hey, I'm on a reality show. We can't. It even told Joe about it. Hey, this funny thing happened, and oh my God, we would never. Nobody ever thought they really hooked up. Okay, so then when the story gets to a friend, and you're like, oh my God, they thought this. Guys, and then somebody should say, guys, don't ever say that on camera. If you guys are, housewives, if you say that talking about a rumor that you thought that they were hooking up, that could turn into what it turned into. So can we not talk about that? That's why they said, well, we won't ever talk about this because, hey, yeah, it was funny. Hey, Margaret, or I'm not going to say her name, but Burnbook, her being not even there and just Margaret's ex-friend again. If you know Margaret all these years and you're so you're Margaret's best friend or whatever she was, and you knew Margaret's all these years, why did you make her sound like Margaret knew this rumor that wasn't even true? You know what I mean? Like, I don't to say to somebody, okay, hey, guess what, Margaret, or whoever told who, this funny thing happened. They thought that Nick and Melissa were hooking up. Ha ha ha. Like, they weren't really. And then it turned into, they got caught hooking up, and then they weren't supposed to talk about it because it really happened. No, because we're a TV show, and look what happens when you say it's shit that's not really, like, it was a misunderstanding. I don't even know if this girl even thought they were even hooking up. I don't know. I mean, how could you mistake it? They weren't. Come on. And that he put this stuff, it's his social media down because he has a wife and kids, and, like, who knows what people are going to believe? Everybody.
Right. So sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I wanted to say the new rumor is that allegedly when Melissa was like getting glammed or whatever, wherever filming, that like her team was always advised that if Joe asked that they were not to say that Nick was around. Allegedly. That's what I heard yesterday, that like the team wasn't allowed to say if Nick was around.
Now or before?
Like before the rumor came out.
But with Joe, who knows? I don't know if that's
like
true.
They said Joe would like call like the hairstylist or text the hairstylist.
Joe's a jealous guy. I mean, not jealous. I don't want to say jealous, but like he's definitely protective of his wife. I could see him not liking certain people, but not because Melissa did anything or Nick did anything. If there's a hot guy hanging out with your wife and her best friend, and it's your wife's husband, whatever, whoever's husband it is, assistant, whatever, it's like, or whoever, I just, if that happened, it's just because maybe Joe's just a jealous person. I don't know, maybe something.
Right. Well, Joe and Melissa both say they're jealous.
I feel weird. I wouldn't want to hang out. Like with my husband, he's never acted like that at all. But like, I would still feel weird. I don't know. But with Joe, I mean, it's not because of anything. It's not. If he thought that happened, if that really happened, they wouldn't be together. You know what I mean? Think about it. You think they're just going to not do anything about that? They got caught cheating. Nobody did anything about it. No snipping. Right. You know what I mean? like, no. It was just something. How could you think? And of course, you put it out there again with the stuff with Joe. Like here's that rumor that makes it sound even more believable. It has like more ability to it. But again, I understand they're on a show, and to sit there and not even and be like, guys, it's not true. No, this is all true. I'm like, screwing it. Like nobody has to believe me, but it's like, aren't we all watching the same show? Think about what Teresa, her brother, and let it out there about her brother. Everything that Joe Giudice accused him of is what he did. He's a scammer. You're a scammer. He's jealous of me and his dad's relationship. Why wouldn't he be jealous? His dad. You did it with Buddy. Look what you did with his sister. You called her CEO. You did not remember that. Does she forget what he did? Did the daughters forget what he did? They called their mom. Again, that's their parents. I get it. Like I don't take my parents' side either when they would fight. But like, let's not pretend that we don't know who my uncle is either. Like,
right.
Just say nothing. Say nothing on camera.
Right.
That's all my opinion, guys. Just mine.
I know. That's why you're here, Krista. I wanted to hear your opinion. I agree with you because the only thing that the only glimmer that really made me kind of believe a little bit of this rumor was whenever Joe and Melissa a couple of seasons ago, like their storyline was that they were like having issues in the marriage, and Melissa was out doing press all the time, and then COVID hit, so she was like back in the house full time again. So that kind of like ended the beef between Joe and Melissa about it, because I feel like she would have fought him harder, because she does like to be independent.
Yeah.
She owns her. But like that made me think, like, you're out doing press with Margaret, your publicist. This dude's friends with the publicist. You guys say you're having, issues. And like now a couple years later, this rumor comes out around that time period. It's like, oh, sketchy.
Who doesn't have issues every once? You know what I mean? Like they've been together a long time.
Yeah. Well, that was what they said.
I'm sure the show. Yeah, I'm sure the show made a lot of changes in her, like a good NB. You know what I mean? A lot of dynamics. She just opened another NB. She's got 2 NBs now. I know he would have never been on board with that if he was, if he thought he would not be okay with her being independent. Believe me, he pushed in the beginning because that's just the way he was raised. But he got out of that real quick when he saw how happy she was and how happy this. It makes her really happy to have NB. And her podcast makes her happy. And people love him on there too. I understand. He said some things in a book, I get what people perceive him as, like, a pig, and like, he shouldn't agree with, like, take it, something he said in their book or her book or whatever. But again, you remember he before the show, he was a dude. He's still a guy. He still has, human emotions. He still can say, just like everybody can say some things. But like, he's not this like abuser. He's not mentally abused. He's not this like undercover thief or like family. Like, he's a family man. He loves his sister. They love Teresa. They're just tired of fighting on him. They're tired of fighting her. Why keep fighting her? It's killing them. Look what happened. Like, it almost destroyed them. Like, and if this season's anything like last season, they're done for good. And I think because the way that Teresa holds grudges, that's going to be the only reason. Not because they want it that way, because Teresa's going to want it that way.
Do you think that because like I kind of potentially, if this rumor comes out about Joe, if all the rumors come out about him, like in my mind, I feel like I could see Melissa leaving him to stay on the Real Housewives.
No, you don't think she's ever heard this stuff before?
I think she has, but I think she doesn't know that people know she knows, because once people know she knows, then that's like a whole different ball game. You know what I mean?
Like, let's say like all the things that people think, like that one thing, I'm sure she knows, and I don't think she thinks it's true. I don't know. I would never want to say yes or no. I don't know. But it's not that she's not worried about what people. She's not worried what people think. But like, she knows her husband. She's not going to leave him. She's not going to choose the show over him. She's not going to choose that over him. She's already been through this with him.
Okay. I just wanted your opinion on it.
No, I was reading about Velvet Rope, yeah.
Oh, I was like making the prediction about them, because
I did explain it a little bit, yeah.
There, like I said, there was this comment that she had made. Where my laptop's not working now, and she like had talked about how like Joe was adamant that he did not want to go on the Real Housewives, like almost to the point where it was like a flat no, and then they ended up, doing it. So my thing must have died, and I didn't realize it. Yeah, that was the only reason that I was like, kind of like, maybe she really did talk Joe into this. Like, maybe he really didn't want to do it. Maybe he had the same thoughts as Teresa. Like, I don't want this show to wreck my family. And she wanted it.
I think they probably both, they probably 50-50 in the beginning, probably both of them. They probably had to have a conversation and figure out whether it was going to be good or bad. They probably didn't know at first. Let's weigh our options. Let's see what, you know what I mean? What could go wrong? Like, if they were hiding anything, they wouldn't have done the show. I promise you.
Because like my feeling kind of with Joe Gorga is like the same feeling you said like about Teresa, like why do the show if it's going to destroy your family? And it's like, why would you sign like when production or Bravo said, okay, we want to pay you separately, Joe, from Melissa, you both are going to get a paycheck, but you're going to have a contract, which means now you got to come with drama, you got to come to events, you got to do your part too, because you're contracted to do so. What do you think about that?
I think that when they met Melissa and Joe at the first christening that we didn't see yet, I think they saw the tension between Judice, Juicy, and Gorga, because that's how the fights all started. Well, Strippergate, but I mean, we started out with Strippergate. Hello, we saw Teresa not stand up for Melissa at that moment. We saw first season. I mean, I think that they saw, and then I think that they thought that that's why it would be a good idea. I do not think that they. But again, I don't think they saw Teresa as somebody that would allow her brother be thrown under the bus season after season, or have as some kind of like not stopping it or not saying it. But I don't know. I don't. Who knows? Who knows? But production knows what they were. They knew what they were doing. But at this point, one of them should leave the show. I don't want either one of them to leave, because I feel like they need each other for a storyline. I think about it.
Yeah.
Our lives are
Well,
not that interesting. Like
Teresa,
crazy family for a storyline, I would think at this point.
yeah,
I mean, around here, there's not much more going on. It's very, yeah,
right.
like, you know, everything basically about Teresa. You basically know everything about them. Like, what else? Nobody's had more kids.
Well, I think her wedding, like getting the 3-part series, and like now the girls are a little bit getting older. And we see did you see what Kim Zolciak's doing with her daughters? Because, you know, they're like allegedly going broke. She's got her daughters going on a reality show where basically they don't have any money. They're cut off. They don't have any money
Oh
from
my
Kim.
God, no way.
Yeah, so they're gonna film the 2 girls basically out
Oh,
here living and working and trying
and
to
making
figure.
their own
It's like,
money.
yeah, it's kind of like the Nikki. Remember when Paris Hilton and
Yeah, but are they really going out here with no money? Are they really going out with a
yes,
production budget?
well,
Are they going out there
right.
really? They're not really doing what our parents did to us, tough love, and throwing us out in the street and saying, "Figure it out." Like, no, they got production. They have, come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Sure,
and I feel like
they have their own money too because they've been on the show.
yeah, that's
So,
true. That's a good point, Krista.
I feel like a lot of the housewives want to be Kim Kardashian or want to be Kris Kardashian, or well, I don't know why. Wouldn't want to exploit my family the way she did. But again, Rinna, like she wants to be Kris Kardashian. She does. That's obvious. I mean, you name drop about this. Like, how many times your husband, and then you're on his this thing. Like, come on. And it's like she's the one that did that, you know. Like, and then I think a lot of Kim Zolciak too. Like, don't base the rest of your life on these shows, because if you lose it, you still have to make income for your family. You know?
I know. They talk.
Like, why, Teresa, I didn't work before, obviously. She had a husband, but like, she doesn't have to work now either. But if this show came along, now Melissa and Joe, they'll never struggle. He'll never not be who he's 25 years. He's been a contractor. Why would he stop?
Sure.
But this is an extra paycheck. It's an experience, a lot of extra money. Of course it's great. Why wouldn't you want that for your brother? You should be ashamed of yourself for even not wanting that for your brother. If you have nothing, they didn't really have, she could have backed up a lot of the stuff that people say about him, and it wouldn't really be, it wouldn't be that big. It wouldn't be like this, but she didn't. And at this point, I feel like anything Melissa and Joe do or say, I mean, I don't think they're going to like really get at her. They're not going to fight her, and they're not really going to keep fighting. And he makes his comments here and there. But they also, they have children that watch the show, you know what I mean, that care about their uncle and care about their aunt. The thing with that is their aunt by blood. That's Joe's sister. That is their aunt. So to watch your dad, and then it's hard to watch your Italian family fight like that.
I'm sure.
But if, then you have your cousins that weren't raised like you, who don't act like you. And it's like, I feel like Antonia knows some stuff, but she, again, is so respectful that she'll never, ever get in the middle of stuff like that.
Yeah. Did you hear when everything happened at the hotel in New York with Jennifer Aiden and the drink throwing? Like, I keep hearing that Louis had his son and he like ran into the Gorgas in passing, and he was like just trying to lead a good example to show Louis Jr. And he went up to speak to Joe Gorga, and they basically didn't want to speak to him, and that was like what rolled into part of what happened with Jennifer Aiden and the drink throwing. Did you hear anything about that, Krista?
No, not at all. I think, that could have happened, but I think that was just, listen, Jennifer has done that to them behind their back constantly. Thank God. And it's fault them for actually saying shit to her face and saying the shit that she has dogged them behind her back. Like, listen, you threw an actual blade. Like, she assaulted him. That's assault with a deadly weapon, which she did. Okay. No, they weren't filming, but your assistant made sure that everybody in the world saw that. So she can be charged now, Jennifer Aiden. It's on camera now, thanks to your assistant, showing everybody. Think about it. They're always talking shit. They're always like that. Okay. Just with filming or not. So why is it that when somebody catches on, when Jennifer Aiden gets to turn around and throw a glass at somebody, when she was, I don't know who she was throwing it at. That guy that Tom was getting in her face, she threw it past him. She didn't throw it at him. That dude just happened to be right next to her, and she threw it past him at Joe and the people that were in the background. They were probably screaming at her. I'm sure they were, but hey, she's not a little damsel in distress. You can't go out and do the things and say you think today and think that your husband is supposed to protect you every single time when you're running your mouth. Not Bill. Bill's not talking shit. You are. You're talking. She's a cheater. You're talking like calling up and trying to find out if Devin really did this, or she's not a good loyal Jersey person, and that's the problem. And Melissa acted accordingly. I'm sure it was late. It was really late at that point. Calls involved, and there's issues going on, right? So why are you going to try to somebody? You already threw plates of food at people. Like, stop playing victim. You threw a plate of food. But how do you feel? How do you feel threatened, Jennifer Aiden? Because you had somebody with you, and nobody was coming physically after you. So you don't get to assault people with deadly weapons. Sorry. Not around here. But, like, she could still be charged. Look at Teen Mom. Amber got charged because she did it on camera. And you know what I'm saying? Like, anything happened. And thanks to your assistant telling everybody, like, defending what she did, basically. Saying she had every right to do that, throw that. Look what they were doing. And this is what really happened. Okay, I know exactly what everybody else saw. What? She decided to throw a glass at them because she didn't like what they were saying. She felt threatened by the guy that was in her face. No, she threw that past his head. It goes like this. Like, she was going past.
I think she was aiming at Joe Gorga because he said some pretty raunchy things. I think is what it was alleged.
Nobody's ever said that to her before. Come on.
I don't know.
I mean, listen, he probably shouldn't have said it, but
yeah, he shouldn't have. Because if I was in a lobby,
talking about a little bit, like,
yeah.
I mean, that late at night, there's alcohol. I mean, of course, everywhere we go, there's look what happened. You guys don't know what happened, but like, I mean, everywhere we go, everybody's you're fighting with your friends. I mean, I walked down here and I ended up hitting my head because I was like, I hate all of you. I'm leaving.
Were you at BravoCon the whole weekend, Krista?
It was back and forth. We were driving back and forth. So I ended up hitting my head the night after I left Caroline's, and like almost knocked myself out, and ended up going home. Like, my friend Brittany, like, she met me back at the hotel, and like I kept forgetting where all right, so I left because Caroline's was hot. I couldn't.
I was in there. I was seated in the back.
I'm like, well, I kept seeing you. I was walking past you, but nobody. I didn't tell anybody I was going. It was last night. The person that called is, has relationships with those people. So, and I was like, oh my God, I guess. And I was like, to forgive her for one, and then to drive with her is another thing. So then I was trying to really not make waves. I didn't want anybody to see us. Really, I didn't want questions. I didn't want any of that crap. But like, I ended up leaving. I think it was Saturday. I hit my head either Friday night or Saturday night. I left Caroline's, went to go where Ryan Bailey was having happy hour. Got to his place. I opened up the freaking door of the hotel, which is I'm thinking it's a real light door. I'm like, and it's like, I mean, a real heavy door. It's a real light door. It hit myself. I had a knot on my head. I'm talking to like the Addams Family people. I'm like, they're like, "Were you okay?" I'm like, "No, stay on the phone." I wasn't making sense. It was. I should. I wish I went with people. I wish I was with other people there. I would have had a better time. And I left right when friend on. But they do that a lot, like the comedy shows. So it's not like I'll see another one. But like that weekend, I don't talk about BravoCon because I'm still recovering. There's some things, other stuff that happened.
I loved being at Caroline's. It was nice to be like in the small area with everyone, like and kind of chit chat. I was like talking a little bit through Joe's performance with the pool boy, of course.
Yeah. Did you see
next to him?
Did you see? I know. And John, there's not. I got to say another thing too. Like,
yeah,
I had a cut on my head. It was horrible. But like, I never had a concussion, and I did. So I didn't. I kept forgetting like everything that was happening. Like, I would talk to them, and I'm like, guys, did I talk? And then I would go, and I'm like, they were like, Krista, like, you weren't making any sense. We're like trying to figure out where you were. Like, and then George, I wasn't that far, so I could go back and forth. But I forgot that I didn't drive when I left Caroline's. I was like, oh shit. Then I was like, all right, I'll just hang out around here. I'll look for Adam. I don't know. I'll look for people. So I was like, that was insane. I couldn't figure out how to even get a hold of you on that after that point. But
oh my gosh,
I was also hiding because I didn't want people to see me with that certain person, and I was like, it was like I did have other stressors too.
Right. I loved it. I had so much fun. The best part was the rooftop.
To clarify your point, I didn't go inside. I was in BravoCon twice. Right when Philly Diva went on, and then after that one more time. But then after that, I ended up having to go because of my head on it. But like, I went because it was so close. Why wouldn't I?
Right, of course.
Ever since the tour, after Adam's tour, we cried for 2 weeks after that because we were like, how are we ever going to see each other? You know what I mean? We all met the first time during the tour, doing the thing that brought us all together, basically, right? So when we met, it was like magical. Like, we were just like, this is like a reunion. Like, we all felt like we always knew each other for so long. And we were really emotional when it was over. And then it didn't happen again. And I'm like, well, BravoCon, you guys are coming here. So that, but then like you only retrade the weekend that you had before, and it didn't, and this doesn't turn out that way.
I know.
I'm forgetting how many people were in town. 33,000 other people that like to watch Bravo, like as much as I do.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
People ask you why we do this, and you can't explain it. And what is the obsession? You have no way to explain it. No, me and Ryan, I would tell Ryan, like, I don't know how to explain this to my friends, like with my mom. And they're like, why? And I'm like, does anybody give a shit? I said, well, I hope a lot of people care about this stuff. I said, I don't know how small of a group the whole reality TV world is, like our world, right? But it could be everything. I mean, we are the viewers. We are the ones who make sure that those shows get watched. And I think this is a lane for us. Like, if we don't want to be famous, right? This is a lane for us to be like, this is something that I feel like should be ours, not famous people, whatever. But I like this lane. I like where we're at.
Yeah.
I definitely like YouTube first. And God damn it, was that right? Like, this is the way to go because now people get to know you. Think about it.
Absolutely.
5,000, how many subscribers you have? Like, think about it. If you went on a podcast, you would have better chance than me at this point because 5,000 people are subscribed to them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I don't put myself out there. I don't have an excuse either. I don't have kids. But I was like,
well, now you did, Krista. So everyone met you, and all my subscribers, people that didn't get to know you, so they got to hear from you.
This one, I'm not as consistent as her, but I try. And I don't know how she does it because you're like super mom, super friend, super everything.
No, girl, no.
No, seriously. I'm a lot, guys. I'm a lot.
Tell everyone where they can find you again so they can go follow you after they watch this.
I'm RealiTea. Does that mean
RealiTea?
Oh my God, I mixed it harsh reality. That's my old one. Yeah, I haven't done this in a while. God, I haven't been on somebody's channel in a long time. You probably don't see my sign because of the way the camera's set up. But yeah, I'm on YouTube. I've been back a little bit.
Yes.
I said now the podcast. Okay, it's called Suicide You One. I already do the episodes on YouTube, but I don't say the podcast episode. I want to start doing that. What it is, it's the feuds that we talk about anyway, right? You know, and that's what I started doing. It's really it works. I get a lot of views with it, but I feel like I had a co-host a couple of times. You know, I would have to have a co-host. Yeah, I'm always basically consistent with my side, so I like opposing opinions. I like to hear what everybody else thinks because I thought I was logical. I thought logic was the same for everybody. I really did. I did. So I'm like, I'm right. And I'm like, the logic isn't the same for everyone. I'm like, no.
No, but I love to hear. Yeah, I love hearing other people's opinion. And showing everyone they can have a respectful conversation with different viewpoints, and we don't have to be we just have friendly Bravo talk. And that's why I invite everyone to my channel because I'm like, everyone has a voice, everyone has a seat at the table. Comment, you know what I mean? Like, I love that. So I appreciate you so much for coming on, Krista, and talking.
I'm honored. Are you kidding me? When you were saying everything, you're like, she's this. I was like, oh my God. I was like,
no, you're my first live. So
I didn't know that either. I'm excited. So anyway, my whole thing too, I want you to be my first opposing side. Even if we don't oppose, but there's always your side or their side, our side, and the production side too.
Exactly.
People love it. They love it. So hopefully, it's called Reality. No, Reality Spot. That's not me. RealiTea with Krista Marie. I love that. It was okay. So it was originally Harsh Reality. Then Unpopular Opinion, and then I went back to this, and only because actually Unpopular Opinion wasn't working for me. It sounded good in the beginning, but then it didn't really. I missed Harsh, but I couldn't have Harsh in there because of the algorithm thing.
Of course.
It was I would literally type throat punch, right? No, not throat punch. I said fruit punch, Teresa in her shirt, right? And then that was when I got shadow banned. Second, so I knew the algorithm had me at that point. It didn't have time to go down the line and people decide whether I could. And then I 90 days couldn't do any social media. It was devastating. I lost all the followers on Instagram. I had to start completely over, and I wasn't not going to put that name back out there.
Right. So, exactly.
Pretty sure.
Thanks, Karma. She actually posted it for you. The RealiTea with Krista Marie. I love that. So, well, Krista, thank you so much for coming on. We will schedule something in a couple months because I think Jersey's supposed to start in December. We're getting it early, so that's exciting.
Well, thank God, and hopefully we get more than 13 episodes because I hate that. Beverly Hills gets 18 and to 21.
I know it's bullshit. Our seasons are so short.
We have more. I mean, House Husbands are on there, so it's like We have more people. You guys are gonna love Rachel. You're gonna love Jen Fessler. I know the other lady. I don't want to say lady, but I know her. I don't know her, but like I don't really know them either. I know of them, but
Is that Danielle?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw her.
It's so sweet. They're nice people. They're nice girls. They're nice. They're just nice. And so Brittany. I hope Brittany's on there a lot. I really do.
I'm sure she will be.
You're gonna love her with Brent. You're gonna love her with Brent. You're gonna love her.
Exactly.
Did you see that?
I heard great things.
Amazing.
Amazing.
It's time.
Awesome.
It's time.
But I'm excited to see that. I heard that Danielle, she's coming on as Teresa's friend. And I saw a video of her. She was on like MTV, like some kind of
I think
phone, my damn phone, I'm so sorry.
Dana was on
MTV. It was like a show about like how to like become famous or something. Like she moved from New Jersey to LA and she was trying to get like roles in the movies, and she was talking about how they loved her because she had dark hair and a Jersey accent, and her boyfriend were living out there. I don't know how long. It was just one episode of like a series that MTV did. But she seemed really sweet and she seems really nice. I follow her on Instagram, so
like I don't think we're gonna find. I mean, I said, guys, if I do deep dive, I'm not going to find anything. Like, I'm not like selling people in the black market. I'm like, tell me now, because I'll go live for you. Live for you.
Right.
Tell me now before I go. They're awesome. But like, you're not secretly selling babies on the black market or anything, please. No more.
Exactly.
No more. We can't.
Exactly.
Do not go. Guys, don't go on a reality TV show if you do things illegal. Just don't. If you want to get caught, don't go on shit. If you don't want to get caught,
right.
Don't do it.
You're so funny. Well, exactly.
One day, that's all.
Again, Krista, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, turn your notifications on, go follow Krista T with Krista Marie, and we will chat soon, guys. Thank you so much, Krista.
Bye, guys. Love you.
Bye.
Oh, wait, I'm doing it like this is my thing. I'm just gonna get shut down.